Hi, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a minute. Trust me, I'm aware. But we're back finally. And I now have the time and energy on my hands to bring you all another video. Now, just a little bit of a life update. This semester has had me swamped. And thankfully, it's very much has been, um, you know, a learning lesson on time management and prioritizing goals and desires and all that good shit. But today's video is actually on a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, and I'm not sure if this will be the official video title, but today I'll be going over the meaning of friendship in the age of hyper-individualism. Disclaimer, I will be speaking from my own personal experiences, so do with that as you will. Now, given my upbringing and being neurodivergent, friendship has been a lifelong journey of understanding for me. And by the end of high school, I realized I wasn't really close with as many people as I thought I was. And it was more so that I was just associated with a lot of people, like just kind of familiar with a lot of people. Very cordial, if you will. And yeah, this caused me to think about, my own support system, and like even made me start questioning who and who wasn't a true friend, quote unquote. And the majority of the summer after I graduated high school was really spent in a lot of isolation and solitude, half by choice, half by circumstances, but regardless, it was still an undesirable situation for me. And being in college has really given me not only a new perspective, but really new appreciation on what true friendship is, really. And admittedly, I was still a bit of a hermit in my early college career, pretty much up until sophomore year, until I eventually actually started putting myself out there and making the effort to actually hang out with people and, really just come out of my shell more. I know that part may sound a bit cliche, but I feel it really is something of a lost art in the modern day, especially with social media and technology consuming a lot of people's time, energy, and attention. I feel like it's something, especially us young people, could get a lot of value out of. Friendship, genuine friendship, to me anyway, looks like individuals who have grown fond of each other, consciously deciding to be in each other's life, supporting each other in a number of ways, and most importantly, growing as individuals together. I believe in today's society, people gravitate either to extreme isolation or glorified associates. To go a bit further in depth, extreme isolation to me often is the result of people either attempting genuine connections with others only to be rejected and or not taken seriously, or certain people never having the opportunity to make genuine connections, so they just, don't bother with it at all, which on paper actually makes some sense. With glorified associates, I feel that they are typically people you may spend a lot of time with, and on paper, especially for like people on the outside looking into the group dynamics, it looks like a genuine group of friends. But then in reality, what you have are typically people who kind of only hang out to just indulge, rather that be indulging in like video games, substances, FOMO, you name it. Glorified associates, to me, again, um, leads to overindulgence in some aspect of life, and often, um, often from what I see, any attempt to deepen those connections is met with disingenuous behavior and or dialogue. To begin to mend this social issue, I feel people, especially young people like myself, need to make the conscious effort and not only spending genuine time with people, but also getting to know people and allowing others to get to know you on a deeper level. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance to this, and there's a time and place for everything, especially when it comes to, you know, being vulnerable and like opening up on a lot of like dark or traumatic, experiences. So I do understand that part. I know when it comes to our past and upbringing, everybody has baggage. And I feel, especially nowadays, disclosing and addressing some of that baggage with people we, desire and yearn to deepen our bonds with will benefit kind of everybody involved. Obviously for the vulnerable person, but, on the person, I guess, receiving that vulnerability can it can give the person a new perspective on either their friend and or just the world around them or life in general. And I feel like that is something that we need a lot more of, especially again us young people, and being in the age of hyper individualism and everybody kind of like keeping to themselves, or like not really going out their way to, I guess, talk about themselves a whole lot unless they're asked about themselves. What I'm suggesting definitely isn't a replacement for therapy. Very much seek professional help. I feel like everybody at some stage in their life should do therapy. Um, it's pretty valuable, and that's definitely like something for a whole nother video for me to go in depth on. But yeah, you can sit and talk with a therapist every week, but if there is no support system outside of therapy, particularly outside of like friend or family and relatives, um, even more specifically, mental and emotional support, I feel that um, I feel that you kind of just learn to suffer in silence. And for me, especially, that's how I felt in my experience with therapy, especially being like, you know, being in therapy on and off for the past half decade or so. It like therapy can only do so much. And I say that to say that people really need to take more time to, I guess, be human, which is again very vague in a philosophical sense. But I feel once people are consciously um, are conscious, I feel once people are consciously putting in the effort to strengthen, certain bonds of relationships, that society very gradually will kind of just become a lot more friendlier, a lot more kinder. You know, I look at today's society, and again, everybody's kind of to themselves. Everybody is quick to like demonize or like, you know, attack another person, whether that be physically or verbally. And I say all that to say that I've just been seeing a large lack of humanity in the world. And I feel that part of, again, mending that starts with our friend group, our support system, people we consider, um, our best friends or like our core group. This process of deepening connections is definitely going to look different for everybody and, every different group of friends and different dynamics. But I feel the common factor between all of them is intention and sincerity. And I feel only with those two concepts can two or more individuals grow to understand and support each other on a deep, lifelong level. Not a sponsorship, but I know a few card games that I've invested in come from the company We're Not Really Strangers. And while I haven't actually sat and played with my friends yet, it is very much something I plan to do. And most importantly, is the intention of wanting to sit and play with my friends that I feel is most important. And because of that intention, I feel it'll get me that much closer to actually sitting and play with them. But I say all that to say, really just start thinking about how you can grow to learn your friends better. Whether that means again, like just asking them very specific questions, or maybe like different like question based card games, like like I suggested with We're Not Really Strangers. Really just make the conscious effort to have intention and sincerity with the people you consider friends. And I feel by doing that, you'll just get so much more out of your relationships with people. So, with that being said, this marks the end of another video. This is actually the first video I feel like that I've actually like had notes written down and actually helped with like the pacing of the video and everything like that. So if you liked how I guess this video was conducted, please let me know and give me feedback in the comments, especially as I upload more and more gradually. I really want to kind of fine tune my video creation process just to make it a lot more seamless and streamlined. You all have a nice day and good afternoon, good evening, and good night.